I got a link to Baggio Live. Then, not during the live, I didn't hear, but I heard it afterwards. And I would have responded, so I'm going to respond now to that. Just to make certain straight. First of all, my dad was in the Navy. My uncle, 98, who's still alive, was in the Army. I've had other people in the family line that were in the military. Now, don't turn my words around, bro. Let me tell you something. I don't disrespect the military. It's just that I'm not a military person. I was not going to go fight a war that we had no business whatsoever being involved in. And you ask a good amount of the Vietnam veterans that went there, came back still scratching their heads, the ones that survived, and see what they say to you. Okay, it's a war or skirmish that we had no real reason to be. 10 million Vietnamese themselves lost their lives, besides how many Americans and allies. Now, let me put something straight. When the Vietnam War was just about ended, that's when I've got a notice. I was like number 7. I had bad hearing. Everybody knows that. Okay, they would have took me in anyway. But the truth is, I wouldn't have gone in anyway. I'm not a draft dodger. I didn't get drafted. Never got drafted. Not at all. I was in school and college. I had bad hearing. And if I would have went into a physical exam, I would have been denied. But it was at the end of the war, the skirmish, whatever you want to call it. And that was it. There's really nothing much to say. Now, in regards to my so-called ideology about the military, I don't have anything against the military. It's just that, like you, I have certain values of my own, okay? I don't believe that killing somebody just because the government gives you poetic license to do so is the right thing. If you killed somebody in the streets, you go to jail for murder. Now, I do understand that on the battlefield, it's you or him. Makes sense? Nothing wrong with that statement. I understand under those situations, you may not want to kill the other guy. But if he's shooting at you, you know, you got to shoot back at him because he could kill you, and you have a family too. So I want to straighten this out. I want to straighten this out once and for all. Now, you're trying to get people to attack me on military issues. You're trying to find every form, rhyme, and reason to attack me. I emphasize, when I did my show, I emphasized that there are people out there on YouTube that were a little bit over-exaggerating on what they did in the military. Okay? That's all I was saying. A lot of exaggeration goes on YouTube. Isn't that like daily on here? Trying to make me the guy with the black hat just ain't fucking working. Because I'll have an answer for everything you say. And I'm giving you my answer right now. I don't disrespect the military at all. We need a defense for our country as well as every country needs defense. If you have a problem, something, you go to a police officer. You call for help. A lot of people maybe don't respect a lot of police officers because there are corrupt ones. But there are good ones too. Hey, my uncle was a detective. Another uncle was a police officer that became a detective. So I not only had military in my family, but I've also had police detectives. Even my aunt was a jailer, if you know what a jailer is. She handled all the women, put them into cells, arrested. She was a jailer, if you know what a jailer is. So I have had law enforcement all through my family. So how dare you label me as such, Baggio, Eric? How dare you? I understand it's all a brotherhood. I understand that completely. I watch all the movies. It's a brotherhood. I get it. And yes, you're right about one thing that I will agree. There are people that are cooks, mechanics, and so forth, pencil pushers, that have had training with guns in case they were really needed. Never said that wouldn't happen. All I'm saying is that a lot of the goons that we have here on YouTube are a little bit over-exaggerating what they did in the military. I don't believe half of what they say. That's all I'm saying. I'm doing a rebuttal to this because I felt it was necessary.